be a half kneeling position. Whatever hand is going to be pressing the landmine, we want that knee on the ground. We're a little forward in our stance, pushing down, active with our lower body. We're going to press up and then pull our elbow straight back down to our side. I want to keep that elbow right in front of us, moving straight up and down. I don't want to move it side to side. I don't want it to bow out. Press up. Notice how my body's staying still. I don't want to shift my weight anywhere, move my hips. If I want to have some fun and spice this up, I can press up, and then I'm going to act like I'm pulling the barbell out of the sleeve, which is going to pull my torso forward. You can see I didn't move my torso forward. I pulled myself forward by pulling back on the barbell here. Okay, so I'm active. I drive, and then I pull forward. I get a nice big stretch in the lats. I get my shoulder over the capsule activated, really winds those small stabilizers in the shoulders. So I'm either build a flat bench up, or I've just got an incline bench struck almost all the way down. I'm going to have two very light dumbbells here, and I'm just going to extend my shoulders and lift my chest slightly. Now when I extend, I pause at the top and control back down. Lift, pause at the top, hold, and then control back down. So I move and extend my spine from between my shoulder blades. I don't do it from my low back. Make sure that you extend from here, lift that chest, pause, and then return. Control this return. Don't just drop. Lift and control the return. We're going to get 12 to 15 reps here, so quite a bit. I started with 8, 10-pound weights. You don't need a whole lot there. Okay? So we're going to complete 4 rounds of that. We can rest, a minute and a half, 2 minutes between each set. So we got 4 complete rounds of that. Next, we're moving on to a goblet squat. So I'm going to encourage you to use the slant board here. We're going to hold a kettlebell at our chest. Okay? And we're going to keep ourselves vertical with our upper body. So we want a big range of motion. And the key to this is our tempo, our pace. So I'm not going fast, but I'm also not pausing. So I never stop moving. I don't take a pause at the bottom. I don't take a pause at the top. I keep my chest up. The more I can keep my arms in and chest upright, the more challenge I'm going to have with the core. We're going to get 15 reps there. Now, from here, we have options. That hit the front side. It's going to hit our quads, our anterior core quite a bit. Now we're going to hit the back side. So we can do a kettlebell swing. Okay, just a simple kettlebell swing. We start out in front. Load our weight back into our hips, shoot the hips back. Keep the kettlebell tight to your body. Drop into your hips and butt. Those tissues expand, contract, push through the ground, pull the hips forward. If you want to get fancy, we've got some work done with kind of eccentric loading or a yielding kind of catch. We're going to start with our feet together. Both feet are going to lift up, and I'm going to go to a 1-foot landing. I'm also going to drop the bell and catch it. And we're going to work on being in a hinge position and using that tissue to catch the momentum. So it'll look like this. Challenge this hip stability. I'm working on that tissue. Notice I have the opposite hand and foot working on this tissue back here in the back leg. So back here, holding on and catching and stabilizing. So we've got to control the chaos that the bell provides, working that adductor, working all those muscles to stabilize up into the hip. So we'll get 8 to 10 of those. That's a pretty tricky drill. If you're not comfortable with it, if you don't want to mess with it, do the kettlebell swing. That's why we showed you both options. So we'll get 10 to 12 kettlebell swings or 8 to 10 reps on each side with those catches, okay? That's more of a neurological thing, more of a skill thing. Athletes should definitely do this drill. If you're trying to challenge your stability, it's a great one. Okay, so, and then we'll go back and forth between those two. So we've got our goblet squat. Remember what's important here, the tempo. We're moving up and down smooth. We're not rushing, okay? But we just don't stop. Then we have our posterior movement. So anything from a kettlebell swing to a drop hinge where we're really challenging that stability again. Both feet move. We go from 2 foot to 1 foot catch with the opposite hand. About 8 to 10 on each leg. And we will do 4 rounds there. From there, we're going to go into anchoring a band. I've got 2 bands here. You can kind of mess around with colors. So what we have found is that using the red, for most folks, using the red band as an anchor, so you get a little more pull forward, but then the orange band or the light band as the actual movement piece, the handle, Okay? Start with both fingers in. I'm gonna kneel tall, so my core is being challenged from being pulled forward. So you saw I lost it there, but you also don't wanna lean back. You wanna kneel tall, row, extend, return. Row, extend, return. Row, extend, return. Notice my pace here. I'm pulling my shoulder blades together, got no movement in the hips and the belly. Extend out to the side, and then the shoulder blades come apart, and I'm reaching forward. So not only am I returning my hands, but my shoulder blades are reaching, and now they're very far apart, and I'm ready to retract and bring them back together. Try to keep a little up and down motion out of it. We want to move more forward and back, okay? So we're going to do 12 reps there. From there, we're going to get 2 steps, boxes, plates, whatever you've got, okay? We just want to elevate from the ground a little bit. Play with the width. You want to have a little wide stance to create some space. You can even offset these. Squat down, and we're going to rotate as we pull. You can put your lead foot on the front, lead arm on the front leg to get you some extra support. Sit into your hips. We don't want our hips to be way up and our back way down like this. Drop into your legs. Your legs are going to burn. It's going to be a lot of work for them. That's okay. As I do my row, my shoulder blade reaches for the ground, my shoulder blade rows up. Shoulder blade reaches for the ground, my shoulder blade pulls back into the middle. I'm going to rotate my hand. I'm not squeezing the kettlebell to death, I'm just pulling it up towards my hip. I'm bringing my hand to kind of my hip, low rib area there. So we'll do 10 to 12 on each side. Take your time there, sit into it, get nice big range of motion reps. Okay, so again, you don't need a whole lot of rest here. Minute, minute and a half, and then we can go right back in to our pull or our row, extend, retract, and then we're back on. We're gonna have 4 total rounds there. Last deal, we've got step overs. So we're gonna have a flat bench. Make this a flat bench real quick. Okay, I like the idea of you stepping over a bench because here we have to get our foot over. The key to this move is that we stand up and we extend this hip. So we stand up and I extend this hip before I come back down. Okay, so I don't want to just kind of take it short and hop there like that. One, you might fall. But 2, that's not getting anything out of it. So we want to drop up here and back down. Up and back down. And I'm not keeping any weight in this floor or this down leg. I just barely touch the floor. All my weight stays up here in this leg. You're going to feel the back side, the front side, all the sides. That leg should be burning like hell. If you're struggling with the balance, hold on to something up front. Hold on to a wall, have a stick, have a chair, something like that, it's fine. Whatever, okay? We gotta get a big range of motion with that hip and that knee. We're gonna do 15 on each side. Then, we've been hitting the Versa Climber for some Versa sprints. We've been using the reverse hyper with that as well. So we've been pairing those things. Those are kind of 2 unique pieces of equipment. If you have a sled, use a sled. If you've got a Versa and a reverse hyper, use that. If you've got a bike, use the bike. Go legs only on that. So we're really trying to just burn these legs out here at the end, okay? So we're gonna have 4 sets of that, or excuse me, 3 sets of that, 20 reps on each side. It's a fun little burn for the glutes and legs at the end. If you got any questions, please send them to us. If you need anything at all, if you wanna come hang with us in person, let us know. We'd love to have you. Till then, thank you so much for hanging. I hope you have a great workout.